sides of the Rise.
Will be very interesting to see how these play out. In the past matchup, you saw the synergy between Finn and between Reza, all that fortified health stacking on top of each other. Not going to be the case here, but Finn still provides such a strong front line for those backline range carries in Samuel, in Kestrel, allowing them to poke from a distance. Hammers, though, they do have the Celeste, they do have the Idris, going to be able to try to make some exchanges before Reza goes in for the kill.
Yeah, a lot of assassination potential there on the side of Hammers. And talking about the assassination potential, a lot of time that's targeting one player specifically. So we're going to go ahead and target one player specifically here on Hammers.
Going to be the man, the legend, the myth, Starboy, legendary streamer. He's looked good in some of these games, just he needs to be able to pick it up a notch. He's still struggling. He's still getting caught out. He's not necessarily going in at the same times as his rest of the team. They need to be all on the same page, be a little bit more coordinated if he is going to find success here on the Sovereign's Rise.
Yeah, and of course, on the other side of the Rise, the player we want to keep our eyes on this time around is going to be Maokai for Tilt Rehab. One of these players that, has been kind of the one that tries to start these team fights for Tilt Rehab, but isn't always doing so at the right time. Played this glaive, was diving in, getting these afterburns, but very rarely was the rest of the team there to follow up. So, needs to be more communicative with the team as a whole to know that when he goes in, the rest of the team needs to be ready to follow up on him immediately.
Both of these teams still struggling to kind of find proper execution that we're seeing out of a lot of these top teams. Really, whoever can just execute better here today, I definitely think is going to come out on top. Draft's a little bit of a toss-up, pros and cons on both sides. Should be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of assassination potential, a lot of damage. We'll find out which of these two teams will get their first win with Humanist and Denominate.
Yo, Bacon and Flash breaking it down, and these guys are right. This should be a very good matchup here. Tilt Rehab versus the Hammers, and we got another Finn. We got another Finn, Noms! No, I'm saying Denominate. It's okay.
We got another Finn, we've got another Reza, but more importantly, we've got Starboy playing some glaive here in the bottom lane. Papa John going to be on that Idris for the jungle, but Archaic on this Kestrel. We saw it work out for Nova last game, even though realistically the glaive is pretty good at getting onto that Crystal Kestrel. If Archaic can position properly, he can definitely harass this glaive and dance around the fights invisible and really just be a distraction.
He can be a distraction, but once again, I'm going to go back to it. Not everybody agrees, but I do think the glaive deals with the Kestrel super well. You just got to make sure that you have some vision, and that Kestrel's going to get popped. I mean, we saw it even in the last game where starting, he hits that huge stun. He's totally set up, but goes Junami. Speaking of going down, Junami, you're in a bad place. And that'll be a first blood going to Tilt Rehab.
Yeah, Tilt Rehab, they got to be happy about that one. Fortunately for both of these teams, they are sitting down at no points. So one of them will at least pick something up for this weekend. So they've got to be excited, looking forward for this one. Ooh, Maokai, a little too far there.
A little blue stacks feeding.
Yep, and that's definitely not the person you want the gold to go onto. And while we didn't see it too much last game, because it felt like old school and a lot of the fights got heavily pressured by Nova, I feel like Celeste is actually pretty good at zoning out what the enemy Kestrel is able to do. So hopefully we'll see blue stacks in this game get to a point where the Celeste can maintain a little bit more control. Obviously, again, that wasn't what we saw last game, but I think that was more so Nova just playing out of their minds.
How does that happen though, Like, how does that actually play out?
Well, through the early stages of the game, Kestrel and Celeste have a very similar range, so they can really harass back and forth. And once we get a little bit later, Celeste gets a little bit of an edge and has that massive spike of damage that does a pretty fair amount of AoE range. So, looking at the explosive heliogenesis and looking at the build that Archaic's going to go, once again, have very, very heavy into the blue, very non-existent into the defense. As a Crystal Kestrel, your defense is your active camo and your team. So Archaic, he can dance pretty uncontested around the edge, but if Hammers can get any sort of vision control, Maokai dropped down there in the bot. If Hammers can get any sort of vision control, that can really put a lot of stress on the amount of freedom that Archaic has.
You talk about stress. Look at the stress in this top turret taking. Tsunami really can't do much here. Doesn't have any items to get in there and do any damage. He's just watching as this turret's getting taken down. This is going to be a sub 3.5 minute turret take, and what a rotation out of Tilt Rehab here.
Yeah, Papa John's trying to work on the bottom rotation to even it out, but with Papa John all by himself, he's gonna basically just get a third of that turret's health. Meanwhile, I think the side of Tilt Rehab, I think they made an excellent rotation there. They recognized that Maokai got picked in the bottom lane, and just where they were positioned on the map, it made sense for them to take advantage of Hammers having 2 in the bot and only 1 up top to go ahead and push down that objective and get themselves a little bit of a gold advantage here, as well as that objective advantage.
Well, early on, just lane balance and rotations favoring Tilt Rehab. They've done a great job with Hammers. They have the ability to really come alive here in the next few minutes. And Starboy, as far as his build, do you think we see anything special out of it? I think he went straight Sorrow Blade as his first item last time I saw him play the Glaive.
I do like the Glaive going a little bit more into the offense and a little less into the kind of one-trick pony double proc build. It does provide you quite a bit of sustain, as well as when you pair it with Glaive's just natural ability through his Blood Song to be able to heal. That's a Serpent's Mask you don't have to purchase to gain healing. And now Papa John and Maokai are duking it out here, and Starboy's with them.
Starboy starting that off very aggressively. Maokai gonna just hang around that turret, try and play it safe. Should be okay unless he gets out a little bit further. Sino and Ali just kind of applying pressure once again onto mid. BlueStacks able to absorb some of that damage, just kind of hang back. It's the defensive game, and he's really not too worried. If he does take too much damage, I'm sure he's just gonna get a Vanguard and reposition there.
Yeah, definitely looking to be the case, as Hammers were able to take down the turret there. They're keeping the aggression up with the minion candy though, and Maokai unfortunately just doesn't have a lot that he can do. Now it might be another kill for the Hammers.
Starboy, that's the play here, bud. They'll just go onto the turret, and finally Ali's going to make the rotation down, but this second turret's already going to go down as a little bit more aggression in mid. Here's Esme really playing with BlueStacks. BlueStacks going to get the Vanguard. The wait for it comes on through. Esme Sonic zooming, trying to kite backwards. One shot's going to snipe the Celeste on down. Eliminate will find one as well. Actually, I think the kill did go over to Celeste. Archaic, time to land some glimmer shots. Blood, basic attack, and he's just gonna pull up and farm here. But Tsunami has moved on in. This is a dead Celeste. Archaic booting back into the active camo trap, trying to get some glimmer shot, trying to find the stun. If you only knew, bud. Another active camo, and is he gonna get out of here? What a player!
Yeah, Archaic able to make it out. Meanwhile, while all that action was going on in the top lane, had a interesting trade-off there down bot, as Starboy and Papa John, they were able to push a turret, they were able to pick up another kill onto Maokai, but a beautiful rotation coming from Sino and Ali Peterson, they were able to pick up a kill, and now that's the mid turret there getting taken down by the side of Rehab. This has been a crazy even game actually so far, Humanist. We're sitting 4-4 on the scoreboard. We're sitting 2 turrets taken each. Gold is so close, it's pretty negligible right now. And we just now have a couple of these treants respawning here. It looks like Starboy was able to take that away from the side of Rehab. But it appears Esme is trying to return the favor and take away that Hammers treant.
Yeah, Esme trying to do so. Looks like he'll be successful. But yeah, I mean, I think Hammers took a little bit more of the jungle away, and they're going to look to do so every single rotation that they can. It's just you take a little bit more resources off the map, deny it from your opponents, and hopefully hit those power spikes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This Samuel has hit level 6, has that Spellfire, and has an infusion in pocket. So Sino is looking to have a huge impact for this next fight. And I think with the ability for Mally Peterson on this Finn to keep enemies pretty close, both with the Forced Accord as well as the Plight Company, and even the Quibble can keep those targets into that heavy splash damage from those Empowered Malice Verdicts. I really like the combination of these two heroes.
Rehab owning the choke point, but suddenly free from Hammers to send down and force them on back out. Ali, he's gonna get the pull into the explosion right there as Tilt Rehab just destroy Hammers. That one shot flying across the map. Did he get another one there? Starboy, the only member of Hammers left on the map, and not much he can do. Well, he's gonna find the stun onto Maokai, and Maokai's gonna be fine because his team taking Ghostwing right behind the fight there. What a fight out of Tilt Rehab.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to pick up a Ghostwing to help them out here. Obviously, there's some gold in their pocket now, as well as we were talking about it last weekend. The additional 25% damage to structures buff that comes out of this is so insane for your pushing ability. And when you have a hero like Samuel and a Kestrel, this is a great opportunity for Rehab to really abuse this buff.
Well, I mean, Tilt Rehab have 2 out of the 4 heroes that were on the OP list that the analysts were showing, so that automatically gives them the win, right?
It doesn't automatically give them the win, but they are 2 strong heroes right now that are very difficult to deal with if you don't do it early on. But, we see, there we go, that turret pushed, even with hammers here trying to defend it.
You're too strong of a co-caster. One shot coming on through as both these teams starting to have this damage stack up a little bit, but Tilt Rehab still have that Ghostwing buff, a little bit less than 50% duration remaining, and they just kind of hang out here. This is great because Fenn can just polite company. He kind of makes his whole team a little more durable, and if they do find a pull, they have huge damage to blow that target up. Otherwise, they just kind of chip with their long-range damage.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct there. Obviously, the side of Rehab, they've built themselves a little bit of an advantage and can really start to take control. They have hammers pushed enough that they can start to get good vision down in their jungle. We see a couple cams going down just as they rotated through, actually. So really smart out of them. They'll be able to see when hammers are coming through, maybe rotating over towards that Ghostwing, but looks like hammers, they'll be able to get their own weapon tree out here. And until Rehab, they're just going to go ahead and back off. Hopefully Esme going to spend some of this gold, and Ali Peterson spends some of this gold in your pocket. There it is, Ali Peterson picked up that Aegis, and Finn gets that bonus shield and health from that ability.
One of the points of weakness I kind of see for hammers right now is that Drunami on this Reza, when he has to go one-on-one with the Vox, he's losing that trade almost every time, and this is should be even harder to deal with than a one-on-one. Oblivion comes out. Oh, he's not going to find the clip there, but suddenly hammers have made their own rotation. Sinu dropping back. Sinu, you're in the battle. Where is this? They had the numbers advantage here, and the rest of Tilt Rehab, I guess, just trying to tilt the team so he can rehab him. Now they're going to go ahead and try to wrap around the backside here. Everybody but Starboy, a 3-man pull on back. Tilt Rehab looking to follow up. Can the Glimmer Shot splash on through here? Arden pretty low. Drunami, one more hit. He'll go down. Esme able to find 2. Should be able to chase, eliminate on down here. And that's going to be a triple kill for him. 4 kills for Tilt Rehab. And once again, Starboy just probably shaking his head and wondering, team, like, what's going on?
Yeah, definitely did not feel favorable at hammers at first. They were able to get a good pick on Decino. You know, you were sitting there mentioning, you know, where is his team? They were so close. They had the numbers advantage. But even despite that good pick that came out of the side of hammers, some good crowd control coming out of Ali Peterson and Maokai, they were able to turn that fight around and take an advantage. In fact, take the whole fight. They now sit up 12-5. They sit 3 turrets ahead of the side of hammers, as well as moving on to that 8,000 gold lead mark. So we'll have to see if they're able to pull through together and close this one out. Maokai has picked up a Atlas Pauldron and Storm Crown, so not a ton of damage.
They
but
can test.
Ghostwing gets stolen.
Got it. Nom noms, Drew nom nominee. He'll go down. No, that Starboy actually going down. Eliminate will fall second. Was it worth it? Hashtag was it worth it? I don't know. Does he have a Spellfire? That's going to be a kill. Maokai coming in from about 3 miles away with that one. And this is going to be a kill onto BlueStacks as well. Drunami, the only one alive for hammers at this point. Tilt Rehab, not happy about having that Ghostwing taken.
Not happy about it, but if you're the side of Tilt Rehab, you really can't complain too much either. I mean, yeah, the Ghostwing got stolen away, but you were able to pick up 4 kills, and you now have some downtime on the side of hammers where they can safely start up this Black Claw and start to push in. Hammers are rotating over, but I don't think they're going to make it anywhere near in time.
Nope, you were right. It's not really something that's happening right now. And well, Tilt Rehab starting to pile up a nice net worth advantage for themselves. If you're hammers, if you're coaching hammers, you could be on mic with them right now. What are you saying to your team?
Well, I mean, I think you definitely got to keep the morale up with the combination of the Idris and the Celeste. There's always an opportunity for them to come back. I feel like one of the downfalls of the Hammers draft, though, is they did go triple crystal power, which can work, but they didn't get an edge early on, which we really would have liked to see out of them. And a lot of shield was built early by the side of Tilt Rehab, which really limited what hammers could do.
A lot of whoop-ass coming out of Tilt Rehab right now as they're just putting the boot down on Hammers. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the ace. Black Claw still just chunking through the armory. And Tilt Rehab putting on a clinic here as they're going to take down the Hammers in less than 13 and a half minutes. What a performance.
Yeah, I think Tilt Rehab played absolutely amazing here. Great crowd control and just overall great plays coming out of Ali Peterson on the Finn. We don't see a ton of Finn right now, and just the massive amount of stuns that Ali Peterson was able to put down with that overdriven quibble really set up a lot of plays for Archaic and Sino in that last game.
It really did. It's great to see Finn having an impact, and things change in the game, making Finn better, but sometimes just not having Finn in competitive matches for so long, it brings that surprise factor back, and that's why Finn excels. I don't know if that's the reason, but let's see if our analysts agree. Go ahead and break it down, guys.
Well, Finn to win, back on track for